Hello, Kim. Hello, Heather.
Hello.
Hi. So we would like to welcome our audience to part 2 of today's topic on vitamin A. I am Jean Yao, biomedical researcher.
I'm Kim Fox, functional medicine nutrition specialist.
Also joining us today is health coach Heather Carpentier of Chronicles in Health. Thanks for joining us again today, Heather.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
So today we are going to start out. I came across an article over my desk a couple days ago and found this survey that had been published in Health Day News, and it reported that 90% of Americans are not eating at least 2 cups of fruit and vegetables, and that actually our intake of fruit is less now than it was 20 years ago. And I thought, with all that education and information and resources and things that we're teaching our kids in school, I was really disheartened to see that these numbers have declined, and it seems like we really aren't making any progress. So I just thought maybe we'd have a brief discussion. I have some of my own opinions why that might be, but was just, curious as to what it is that you think might be going on. So, Jean, what are your thoughts? Why do you feel that Americans are not increasing their fruit and vegetable intake?
I think most of the reason is habit, because this has been there for a long time. Like I came from China, so my habits is we just eat lots of vegetables. So when you are young, you get that habit formed, and it's going to be hard to change it when you grow up.
Okay. So if I'm hearing you correctly, if you didn't grow up that way, eating a lot of vegetables, it's going to be hard as an adult to make that change. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that certainly makes sense. Heather, what are your thoughts?
I was thinking about this, and just in our shopping habits, yes, we're constantly bombarded with, we eat so much fruit, eat so much vegetables. But a lot of people actually shop in convenience stores, and a lot of convenience stores don't even have a lot of fresh fruit. And even if you do see it, it doesn't look so good, like it's been there a while. So I think depending on income level and some other things, it can be where you're shopping. And it is harder to keep fresh fruit and vegetables. And I do believe a lot of people don't know how to consume it quick enough and get it. And like Jean says, it's a habit. We weren't taught how to do it. And so habits are one of those things that, you got to really work at to change them.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And I agree with you too. But depending to some of the grocery stores, not grocery stores, convenience stores, I have seen, especially like Quick Trip. And again, I'm not promoting one place over another, but
Right.
they seem to have a lot more opportunities, or even some of the, I don't even know what they're called now. It used to be the former SAs, but I've seen where they'll have apples and oranges and bananas. So I think they're trying to make some effort, just because of what you said. People are maybe limited in their shopping. What the article said, and I think what people don't often take into realization either, is I think sometimes we think that the fruit and vegetables have to be fresh. Yeah. And again, the research also tells us that in many cases, the fruit and vegetable can actually be healthier if it's canned or frozen, unless you are doing in season, fresh, locally grown. So there's nothing wrong with including those fresh and your fresh, frozen, dried, and other sources. And many of those are going to be more economical. The article did, if you read further, also pointed to the fact that, income. People say it's expensive to eat healthy, but we do have the supplemental programs, WIC, which is for women, infants, and children. We also have the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, and both of these are providing financial resources to help families increase that fruit and vegetable intake. So, the tip I would say for, increasing that is really try to purchase fruit whenever possible and utilize that as a snack versus the cookies, the chips, the pizzas, which unfortunately we do see a lot of time are being utilized for snacks. And I think, as you had said too, how do we cook these things? I need new cooking techniques, or, preparation method. How do I eat these quickly? And so, Heather, that's where you are going to be telling us how to do these things. So hopefully, and I believe you're going to be focusing more on our vitamin A sources today.
Yeah.
So you're able to tell us on how we can increase that intake of fruits and vegetables. So take it away.
All right. Thanks, Kim. All right, like Kim talked about, we're going to talk a little bit about vitamin A. Did you know that vitamin A once was known, originally when it was discovered, as the anti-infective vitamin? And that doesn't that just say it all, that we don't want these infections, that maybe we should eat a little bit more of the vitamin A foods? So all the more reason, let's get some vitamin A. But adding more fruits and vegetables to your diet is great, because each one of them provides different things and nutrients and all kinds of stuff for you. So let's look at adding fruit to your life. Like Kim said, sometimes it's hard to do this. So how do I do it? I have I try to get 2 servings of fruit a day, and we start our day with a cup. And what I have these Pyrex glass bowls, and I fill them up the night before with frozen fruit. And like Kim said, frozen is great. It doesn't go bad. It can stay in my freezer. I take out just enough. I have 4 of these, and I will fill 4 of them, and that'll last for my husband and I 2 days. We'll each have one first thing in the morning. Look at that. I just have to take it out of the refrigerator. There it is. I've got my first cup. And then we can easily start to add either an apple or a mango or something like that throughout our day. But let's look at some fruits that are strong in vitamin A. We have mangoes, we have cantaloupe, and like Kim mentioned, the colors last week. You notice that these are all the yellowish family. Now, I will say I did have, you see a picture there of apricots. They are dried apricots. I do caution that if we're going to do dried apricots, mine aren't quite as bright and orange, because I do the organic, and that I really encourage, if you can afford it, that's the best option. If not, regular is fine, but there's a lot of chemicals on there that you do want to try to avoid. So those are some good sources. It's super easy. Just put them in those Pyrex cups and ready to go in the morning. You've already got that first batch done.
And Heather, how long does it take literally to make that fruit in the cup?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. All right.
I usually try to use 2 different fruits, sometimes 3, and I will pour them in there, grab them out of the freezer, my big bags from Costco, and pour them in there, put out all 4, put them the lid on, put them in the refrigerator. That is it. It is super easy. And if you have more of them, you could do more. Now, you wouldn't want to do maybe more than 4 days ahead of time. They'll get mushier, but they'll last in the refrigerator, and you don't have to worry necessarily like all your fresh fruit going bad, because once it's ripe, it's got to be eaten. So, and another tip there, which I wasn't going to talk about, is if you do have frozen or fresh fruit that's going, like it's getting close, it's ripe, you can clean that up, put it on a cookie sheet, stick it in the freezer. Once you chop it up into your sizes, freeze it. Once it's frozen, then throw it in your Ziploc bag. Then it's ready for you to use too. So you can use your in-season fruit and make your own frozen fruit.
Yep.
So
awesome.
The next thing is plant source of vitamin A would be our vegetable sources. Roasted vegetables are super easy to make, and they're great for batch cooking. Making a large batch can provide leftovers unless you eat a lot of vegetables. You can eat them throughout the week. So now I'm going to tell you how to do it, and then Kim can tell us about her experience. So basically what you're going to do is chop up 4 or 5 cups of your vegetables. Now, if you're wanting to really build that vitamin A, sweet potatoes, carrots, broccoli, those are all great choices. But you're going to chop them up. Try to get them all close to the same size. Then you're going to take a healthy oil. I like to use ghee or coconut oil. You're going to place them on your baking sheet with parchment paper. Parchment paper makes easier cleanup, which is a great thing too. And then you're going to roast them at 375 degrees, 15 to 45 minutes. Now you say, oh, 15 to 45 minutes? How do I know? Well, you're going to have to watch them until you get the hang of it. The smaller they are, the faster they're cooked. The larger they are, the longer they take. And root vegetables tend to take a little bit longer. The healthy fat that you're adding, like that ghee or coconut oil, that helps with that absorption of vitamin A. And Kim mentioned that on Tuesday, that vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin, so we need fat to get it to assimilate and get to us. So we really want to make sure that if we're going to invest in all this great food, that they reap the benefits of the nutrients. And plus, it tastes good with a little extra fat on there. So Kim, did you want to share something about these roasted vegetables?
So Heather had done a demonstration on doing this for us several weeks ago. And in all honesty, I had never, ever made roasted vegetables before. And after watching how simple it was, it's now become a staple in our house. So we do it probably 2 to 3 times a night. It's quick, it's easy, it's variety. And that's actually kind of how I plan my suppers. I've got all these vegetables that I've ordered, and that's kind of becomes the center of my meal. We eat around it. And my husband and I honestly eat a whole 9 by 13 pan by ourselves.
That is so awesome. You're getting so many different nutrients, and it tastes good.
I'm going to give a try. Normally, I don't do this this kind of cooking. Well, it sounds like very fun. I'm going to try it.
It's super
fast.
easy.
Yeah.
It's super easy. And I will, after this chat, I will post on the Dymo link or the Dymo Facebook page, a blog post that I did that you can then see how to do it step by step. And it'll tell you the different roasting times. So go ahead and look for that later today. So
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
yes.
Awesome.
All right, so let's move on to animal sources of vitamin A. So the most concentrated sources of the preformed vitamin A are often found in animal products. So, and they're not in our most favorite parts. They're in the organ meat parts. So Kim or Jean, do you guys eat many organ meats like liver or heart?
Well, when I was young, I ate lots of liver, but not right now.
Kim?
Yeah, if my dad goes and happens to get a deer, we might have liver, but you know, it's got a lot of chili powder on it and onions.
Yes. So, I mean, organ meats are not real popular in the United States. We've kind of gotten away from it, but most traditional societies, the organ meats were the prized parts of the animal. I grew up having to eat liver, and yes, it was having to eat liver, and it was liver and onions, and we probably had to have it once a month. And let's just say it's a very difficult meal for a kid to get down. And I never made my kids do this, but as an adult, I really learned that it's very important to eat liver, but I still kind of have that bad attitude. So I've learned a way to hide it. So to get the health promoting benefits of liver, what I do is I sneak it into the foods. I've gotten caught once, but for the most part, I don't get caught. So what I do is I do source my liver from pasture raised, which is very important because we do want to avoid the hormones and stuff like that. But it's usually the cheaper cuts because people don't buy the livers. It's not quite that popular. So beef liver and chicken livers, and I'll thaw them, and then I'll put them in my food processor and just puree them up. And it doesn't look good. And then, but I take it to when it's nice and pureed, and I pour it into ice cube trays. And now I have my special ice cube trays for this. I don't use them for water either. They're only used for this. They freeze, and it's about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons, depending on how I fill it, of liver. And once they're frozen, take them out, put them in a bag. Now what I do is anytime I have a ground meat, hamburgers, meatballs, meatloaf, I'll take out 1 per pound of meat. And I thaw that at the same time I'm thawing my beef. I do it with ground turkey too. Then I use chicken livers, but then I mix it in there and nobody knows. Nobody knows. And sometimes I actually will sneak in 1 thawed into my creamed soups, and I puree it in there. Nobody knows. It's if I just don't get it pureed, that's when I get caught. So I got to make sure that it's pureed, because hubby got part of an ice cube that it was thawed, but not pureed. And that wasn't a good experience. So anyway, it's super easy. and you will get that liver in you. Another source of liver, liverwurst, you can get that, especially if it's a good quality one. I actually love liverwurst. Even from one of the farms I get our pork from, they do make it and it's really good. And you can easily have that on crackers or toast or things like that. Something that our parents or grandparents might have used as an animal source is cod liver oil. Now, sometimes when I'm teaching seniors, I'll ask, how many of you had to take cod liver oil as a kid? And they raise their hand and they go, bleh, you know, but because it doesn't taste that great. But there are some forms that are fermented and flavored. I use cinnamon flavored and it's really easy to take. I only take it once a week, because 1 tablespoon of cod liver oil contains 13,600 IUs or 4,080 micrograms. So it's pretty concentrated, because you have to be careful with vitamin A. You do not want to over supplement vitamin A either. So I thought it'd be fun to share about the different sources. We've talked about animal sources, vegetable and fruit. So let's look at some values. So the first one is liver, and yeah, it doesn't look good. My dad used to be a butcher and he goes, that stuff was slippery stuff. And it is kind of slippery stuff. But so I'm going to compare 3.5 ounces of everything. So that would be about a cup of fruit or vegetables, just depending on the fruit and vegetable. So liver has, liver has 43,900 IUs or 13,170 micrograms. That's a lot. Is
this the whole liver?
Yeah, 3.5 ounces, not a whole liver.
3.5 ounces.
Because normally you take the liver and it's sliced for you, but about 3.5 ounces. So wow, I think that would be about maybe a little bit bigger than your fist size. Okay. If you weighed it out, maybe a tad bigger.
About the size and thickness of a deck of cards.
Yes, yeah, that's why I use my fist, about that size. So the next one is about a cup of carrots, and that would have about 11,000 IUs or 3,300 micrograms. Now, I mean, carrots are great, that's good, but you know, if you eat a whole bag of carrots, you're not going to feel good, because we got to.
And you will turn to orange.
If you eat a lot of carrots, you can change your skin tone. That has to be a lot.
That
and the next vitamin A, what's that?
That happened to me as a baby. I loved my orange foods.
Oh, funny.
I had carrot anemia.
So you had a beautiful tanned look.
I did, yeah.
Oh, funny. So mango is another one, and about a cup of mango would have 4,800 IUs or 1,440 micrograms. So you can see the difference, but does that mean you should only eat liver? No, we need a balance in our life. We need a balance in eating a rainbow of colors. And like we've always done, we've always shared our references. So there's just a couple of here, the article that Kim was referencing, and then where I've gotten my units and stuff for the liver and carrots and mango. So there you go. Thanks, guys. That's vitamin A and how to add some vegetables and fruit to your diet and liver.
I think I'm going to start adding that liver chunk cubes to my chili. So
yes, we're having chili this weekend. So I'll probably do 2 pounds. So I'll do 2 of them in there.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah, and nobody will buy some livers from grocery stores too. Give it a try.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, next Tuesday, we will begin looking at foods that have a negative impact on our immune system. So we hope you will join us. Again, thanks to Kim and Heather and our audience. You joining us today. Have a great rest of the week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.